Hello, it's Kim here in Auckland, down at the viaduct. So let me show you where I am. This is where I am, down in Auckland right now. It's Labor Day. It's a day off for Aucklanders. And I'm down at the waterfront. And that's the Sofitel. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And it's a beautiful place just to come to walk around, look at the boats, take in the views of the city. So, I want to share with you, I've just spent 3 days at an amazing event with a lady called Catherine Newton, who is a business coach with a difference. And she teaches women entrepreneurs how to be their best, how to stop sabotaging themselves, and how to run a business which is heart-centered and successful. And a lot of people were there. There was about 80 women there, and people were having some wonderful breakthroughs. And I did too. And one of the things that seems to be a recurring theme, especially with women, is not allowing ourselves to shine our brilliance and not allowing ourselves to be ourselves, and also to allow ourselves to be fully happy. And right at the end of our 3-day event, what was the turning point for me, when one of the ladies shared how her mother was finding it so for her to shine her brilliance. In other words, she was finding it difficult for her daughter to be in her brilliance, that she decided to remove herself from her daughter's life. And that really, really struck a chord with me, because the thing that I've been working on for the last few months is, why is it that I keep sabotaging myself, and why is it that I'm not more successful as a business than I should and could be? And whenever I've thought of stepping up or stepping out or being more successful, what always comes to me is, what would my mother think? What would my mother say? And I've known for a while that there's been this resistance and this fear around, if I shine my light and I'm brilliant, then I'm going to be judged or criticized or rejected or disliked or unloved by my mother. And that is a really, really deep issue that's been going on for the whole of my life. And even though I've cleared a lot of it, there was still something there. And something really shifted yesterday when this lady shared her story, because I recognized the same truth in me, although my mother has not stepped away from my life. But in my head, my fear is that she will reject me if I'm really, really happy and really, really successful. And so I've kept on sabotaging myself and my success. But I went to that event to make a breakthrough, because I no longer want to keep sabotaging myself, and I can no longer run a sustainable business by sabotaging myself. It's no longer possible. And what I said, I woke up this morning and wrote a really long letter and or email, and I realized that, putting all the pieces together, and I wonder if this resonates for you watching, is, do you have a glass ceiling on your happiness and your success? Is there like this limit, this glass ceiling that you keep coming up against, hitting again and again and again, and no matter how much you want to go beyond it and you want to break through that glass ceiling, you just keep stopping? Because that's what's happened to me for years and years and years, and I'm fed up with it. I don't want it anymore. And, the reality was that when I was young, I was afraid to be happy, because my mother wasn't. She was deeply unhappy. She had a very stressful time. My brother was mentally handicapped, and she found it really, really difficult to cope with. And that's really fair enough. But in addition to that, she had no support. My father was unable to really support her. Her parents gave her no support. They never once babysat, for example. And so she felt completely lost and frustrated. And she also felt incredibly resentful towards me for having a good relationship with my father. And she even told me a couple of weeks ago that she resented me and that she used to take her frustration out on me by hitting me and being mean to me. And it was really nice to actually have that acknowledged. But the fact remained was that I, at a very early age, decided that I don't want her to be more unhappy, and I don't want to lose any more of her love. So I'm just going to keep myself small and insignificant, and I'll just shrivel up inside, and I'll hold everything inside. I'll hold all my feelings inside, all my anger inside, all my pain inside, and because I don't know what else to do with it. There's nowhere else to go with it, so I'll just hold it all inside. And essentially that's what led me to get really sick and be unwell with chronic fatigue and not be able to work for 10 years because I was holding all that pain inside. And even though I've let a lot of that pain go, there's this missing piece that I've not yet let the hurt go of that child that never got the love. So I just ask you to ask yourself, where do you have ceilings and glass ceilings in your life? Are you allowing yourself to feel as happy as you could? Or are you holding yourself back? Because I feel so much better since having this shift yesterday, and I now feel more able to step into the truth of who I am and not keep holding myself back and not keep saying in my head, oh, I can't do that because what would my mother say? And for some people it may be the father, it's not maybe just the mother. I work with a lot of clients, this is the same issue over and over again. You know, I can't show my true self because what will XYZ person say? And really it's the primary caregivers that we had when we were growing up that really form these deep-seated beliefs that we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough. So that's my little musing for today. And just to finish with, it's really interesting because along with what I've just been sharing, often we can also feel guilty for giving ourselves what we want or putting ourselves first, treating ourselves or whatever. And it just so happened that after this conference, I had some hotel points that I had to use up, and I had to be used up by today. So I booked myself down at the Sofitel here hotel for a night's accommodation just to relax, treat myself, nurture myself, and have some fun without guilt. Because in the past also, if I would ever do anything nice for myself, like travel, just stay in a luxury hotel, there's always in the back of my mind, what would my mother say? She'd judge me, criticize me, etc., etc. No, no more guilt. It's gone. And I invite you to do whatever it is that you need to do to let go of any guilt that holds you back. It's a real life staller. So, see you again.